piece this afternoon on the program is mirroring the Antonin Dvorak Symphony from the New World that we're going to be performing on our final program in September 29th. This is the American String Quartet. This was a group of pieces of music that was written by Antonin Dvorak. He was commissioned to come over to the American Conservatory of Music, a new conservatory that was being formed in New York City. It was really kind of a funny story how his position came about. They sent him a letter asking him if he would be the dean of this new school of American music. He was a very famous Czech nationalist composer, and his music was revered all over the world. And he actually wrote, they said, we'd like to, inquire if you would consider coming to stay with us for a year or two to be our head of composition. And he said, well, I really appreciate it, but I'm very happy here in Czechoslovakia. I've got my beautiful house. I teach at the Prague Conservatory. And he even included his salary. He said, I make 400, lira a year or whatever. I think he was kind of hinting, to see if they might better the offer. And they sent him a telegram back saying, we'll pay you $10,000 a year. He said, I'll be on a boat in a week. So he arrives in the United States and was one of the first composers to write really what we know of as American music. Up until this point in the Americas, they had been writing music that was kind of neo-European. There was Arthur Foote and characters like Gottschalk and Chatwick and Pearl, but really they were writing neo-European music. It was first Antonin Dvorak that came along and saw the value of the native kind of folk music, the spirituals and the cattle calls and the field hollers and the different things that he experienced, especially the influence of the Native Americans that he encountered when he traveled to the Ohio River Valley to see some of his friends and colleagues, immigrants that had settled from Czechoslovakia to Ohio. And so was enamored with the Indian movement, the Native Americans. And so he writes this fabulous piece, Symphony from the New World, based on a poem by Longfellow called Song of Hiawatha. This American String Quartet that we're going to play the first movement of was actually one of those pieces that was inspired and that he wrote here in the United States when he was tenured before he went back to Czechoslovakia, where he passed away a few years later. So this is one of the iconic pieces of string quartet literature, the American String Quartet. Thank you all for being such a wonderful audience, and we hope to see you all at the concert on the 29th. Thank you very much.
Thank you.